Hello, hello. Hello, good evening. Oh, I feel like a priest in a church. It's the acoustics, nothing else. Yeah, very welcome to our third note session, which is for the first time for a note session in Monopol, but of course we're returning here and we're super thankful to Monopol and José Alacron for having us. And for supporting us and for making this possible and for lending this incredible LED wall that he has these days to our images. Yeah, we have an interesting program. So we're going to start with a talk from Jimmz coming all the way from Shanghai, talking about the tea community and what they do with digital fun. And then we have a sad news because the second speaker, Michael Sollinger, is unfortunately got very ill, so he couldn't come, which is sad, but we also have to thank him a lot because he provided lasers. A lot of the stuff that's here is remaining from the 40 years LaserAnimation Sollinger celebration that has been here. And there's also, I have to count in a moment, 4 or 5 laser art installations that they left for us to enjoy. And we thought that we use the slot for Michael to interview the artists that have created these laser installations. So in the first break, we will ask you to swarm out, have a look, and then we can hear from the artists a bit about that. And the third speaker is going to be Katharina Geiger from MiMu Gloves. She's going to introduce an amazing new tool for gestural interaction with musical and hopefully also visual tools. Maybe some organizational things. We are here on this map which says main hall. The toilets are really far away. You see this blue VC sign? So basically you go out, you go towards the big building, you go around the big building, and there is a container, and that's the toilets. Everything else is just the area, right? And also you see next to the main hall this thing called Art Hall. You get through this hall, which is very dark. Please be careful. And after that, there's 2 laser installations, and these are called. We have Conversions by Studio 512 and 0.1 to 30 Hertz Strata by Maxime Letellier. And then there's a further laser installations where it says 3D Art Silo. And there's an installation by Moritz Hilscher and Michael Sollinger called Etude. And that's going to be open in the breaks. And there you have to know that it's an 8-minute show, and while the show is running, you know new people can enter and no people can leave because of laser safety. So they're going to have to make groups. One group can go in, group goes out, next group goes in. Let's see how that works. And then there's 2 more installations which are not on the plan because we didn't exactly know if they would be open, but there's an entrance here. And there will be, in the second floor, Geometrical Correction by Phoebe Carlson, and in the first floor, Ghost Lights by Margareta Hesse. And all of this is thanks to LaserAnimation Sollinger and Michael Sollinger. Then maybe some announcement in our own capacity. The winter season is out. Yes, we're late. Yes, we're still working on it, but that's because it's going to be very good. And let me just very quickly run through it. Our popular touch designer beginners class, 12 weeks with Nima Gazistani, is going to start on the 28th of October. As always, you can watch it live every week, or you can consume it through the recordings. And in parallel, a beginner class in VVVV is going to start on October 27. Also 12 weekly sessions. we're going to introduce a new intermediate class. So that's a consecutive class, not like before individual modules. Again, with NEMA, which is going to picking up the ball exactly where the beginners left and going to go 8 sessions further into professional applications of Touch Designer. And in parallel, we're going to launch intermediate modules for V4, still work in progress. And we already can announce 3 Touch Designer Pro modules. So that's our classic 3-hour quick get into a topic really deep. The first one is going to come from Moritz Hilscher, who's working for LaserAnimation Sollinger. It's going to be about mastering lasers with LaserAnimation Laser Chop, because they've built a custom laser chop for Touch Designer with the promise that that turns Touch Designer into a complete laser suite, and you won't need any other software to create anything you want to create with lasers. The second Pro module will come from Denis Akopov, and it will talk about how you create Git-based repositories, or how do you create collaborative Touch Designer projects where people from different places can work on one project, which becomes very important if you work professionally with Touch Designer. And so he's going to do a deep dive into how to set up this workflow that comes from, as somebody called it, serious software development. And last not least, we're going to have a course with Marta Pang. You might know her from Instagram, from her beautiful music visuals, and it's going to be looking at techniques, but it's also going to look a bit at the whole process of how do you actually land gigs in the music industry. Can you please shut up, music industry? How you land gigs in the music industry, but still remain kind of artist, sustainable and authentic. We also are going to expand on our Node Toolkit series with an introduction to modular sound design with VCV-Rack by Leon Wolvers, specifically meant for visual artists who work with Touch Designer or V4, showing how you set up VCV-Rack and then how you connect it with Touch Designer and V4. Having said that, you see that we have a lot less modules than we used to output in the past, because we want to push our course directory and direct your attention to all the courses that we already have produced, and from which you can pick all the things that you need to make your individual experience. So far for that advertising. We also have to thank PlusPlusOne. We're going to see an advertising clip from them now.
You also find yourself trying to make sense of a cable salad that even your LiDAR doesn't understand? No worries, we've got you covered with industry-grade Hokulio setups, complete with PoE splitters for power and data that just work.
So if you want to connect with this AI-generated young man, he's actually sitting there at the front of house and is waiting for your orders. I hope I didn't forget anything. It doesn't matter if I did. We have more opportunities to catch up. But now it's my great pleasure to welcome, and to this occasion I have to do a little striptease, Jimmz from the T community, TEA, Technology, Education and Arts, who are doing incredible work for the Touch Designer, with the Touch Designer community in China. And they also have a design studio called Digital Fun. Yes. And we're super happy to have Jimmz here. We've met 6 years ago.
Yeah, 2019.
In Montreal, and kept in touch. And now he's here, and I couldn't be more excited. Thank you, Jimmz, for coming.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, still I want to thank Stefan to host this no session event, and I'm very happy to become part of like participant to share of our some experience, especially in China, like both in the project and as well as the community. So for my presentation, today's agenda will be, firstly, I will introduce some of our commercial projects we did in China, and later on we will introduce more about our tea community, which organized the Chinese touch designer community. And last is, after all the presentation, we're gonna have a performance here with the sound artist E. We will have also thanks to the LaserAnimation Sollinger for sponsor our laser for our performance. And hopefully everyone can enjoy tonight. So have a brief introduction of myself. My name is Jimmz. So I'm one of the co-founder of the Digital Fun Studio and the TA community. And the one of the Digital Fun is mostly focused on the commercial project to how to make the technology and art coherent together for more like a project base. And the TA community, which stands for technology, education, and art, is mostly for hosting the touch designer community in China. And definitely a lot of things we will like to learn from the No Institute. And it's also a good chance for me to exchange some ideas together here. Okay, and so we begin with our commercial project part, which is our Digital Fun team. So our Digital Fun team is based on Shanghai, and we have several different capacity from the beginning of the strategy to the design phase and to the production, as well as the performance and implement for the interaction. So usually our project have a different category, like a show and launch events, immersive exhibition, and especially some virtual production like a camera tracking system for especially during the COVID, we have like a virtual production XR kind of project, and also some of the visual effects. And right now we will share a demo reel of our studio. Is it possible for the sound? Thank you. And what you see here is like some of the projects for the show and the launch event. We have to invest our time for the lighting, for the visual, for the kinetic lights, and for laser. And we also do for the car launch event, like this kind of XR shooting. And we also work with like manufacturing for their technology support on-site for the Lumina Park. And for immersive experience, and also for this kind of like a big sport brand like NBA, and we help them to create the content, create a visual for the immersive room. Yeah, so that's where we can somehow connect the technology to implement to the more art oriented, but clients still can have some like admire what we did for their branding, for the TV, for the like kind of event base. Okay. Is it possible? Not sure the sound output is correct. Is it possible? Have to check the sound for my presentation. Thank you. Yeah, so this is basically a demo reel of our team, and we have this like client partners. So I will share some example of what we did for specifically these categories. So for show and launch events, one of the most famous one is the Spring Festival Gala in China, because it feels like a Super Bowl. This happens every year in China, especially for our New Year Eve, like a Lunar New Year Eve. And this one is where we work with the very famous director Zhang Yimou to create the art piece, which relate to the camera tracking of the dancer, as well as the like a noodle chef who create the noodle at the same time, and also the singer, the band, they incorporate everything together. So definitely we use Touch Designer for this project, and we can use the camera direct to detect all the dancer on the ground, like this image, and using the camera tracking system to simulate the visual effect and compose with the dumping shifts, make dumping in the same time, and also the singer and the bands. So you can see all the dancer is like on the ground, and we have camera on the top of the ceiling, can detect their movement. And at the same time, you can see there's another layer is for like a shift, make dumping around this edge. And all we can use the Touch Designer to trigger the visual effect and composite those layers together. So in the like a Spring Festival Eve, there's so many like Chinese traditional like element. You can see here is like a typography, calligraphy, and as well as the crackers, the bamboo, panda, and there's a transition from the rabbit ear to the dragon ear. So you can see a dragon like this kind of calligraphy, but it's made by noodle and as well as like the dancer together. And another one is Flare Festival. Flare Festival is what we create, especially for the other department, TA community, create every year. So I will go deep more about this in a later stage. But just for this is we designed a stage for our own Flare Festival. So this was a clip for 2023. We host the event in Shanghai theater cinema, and then we use the screen like a movie theater screen, and also design the lighting installation on the stage, and work with the rock and roll like our sound artists, more experimental sound, and we also combine with like the artificial intelligence and the AR for scanning, and a lot of elements to compose together into the stage performance. So this is a short clip. We use like a ComfyUI to create the AI animation back to 2023, just for the stage performance. And next is a bit about the immersive exhibition of our like project. One is also happened last year is we worked for the Beijing Auto Show, the Volkswagen AI interactive installation. And in this one, it's actually quite challenging because the AI last year, May, was not that accurate compared with right now the time. But we still try to use the ComfyUI like open source plugin and compose into Touch Designer to create an installation. So we have two sets of installation, and besides that, we also create some like a visual for the screens. But because this is more or less is a commercial project, so most of the aesthetic of the visual is from the Volkswagen. So here's the first installation is made with the drawing experience. So you can see we have a like touch screen, and people can randomly draw something, and we train LoRa for our checkpoint to generate it like the car which look like the Volkswagen style. It's take a lot of time for us to invest what's the best way to make the drawing look similar for the Volkswagen style. And another one is like a photo booth. But during the photo booth, user can select what's their preference about art style, and then transfer into like a specific style they like, especially related to the Volkswagen. So this is two interactive piece we made for Volkswagen. I will go more deep about how we translate this to educational side, but for the TA community section. And the next one is the Lumina project. We work with Small Factory. This is happening in 2022, which was the COVID's most serious in China, because that time even like the airport terminal is closed, so like manufacturing team couldn't travel from Canada to Shanghai. So we have a lot of remote communication, and then we have like on-site setup for the two interactive pieces. One is made by the lighting, and another one is made by like a projection. So it takes like from the beginning of 2022 to the October. Then we during the earlier October or late December we move in on site, and because of the time difference, so our team all work on the nighttime and the setup, and during daytime we have to like take a rest, like this reverse of our work routine. So here there's two art pieces. One is the previous one with the lighting tube, and this one is made with the rangefinder sensor, and people can interact with the projection table. These two pieces are also related to like a traditional Chinese story. One is related to like elements called Jimmz Zhang. It's 5 different elements belong to Chinese history, and the two, one is the lighting tube is related to the wood, and the projection one is related to the gold. So it's the 2 key elements of the 5 elements from Chinese like historical philosopher. And I also share a bit about the virtual production. So we do a couple of them during the COVID time, because many events they couldn't happen for the on-site event. So mostly we do pre-record, but we can integrate like this kind of technology with tool like Unreal and Touch Designer to have some kind of camera tracking system inside this you can see LED cube setup for like this kind of commercial. And it's kind of also quite difficult for us, because at beginning no one knows how the technology will drive. So many times just for trying the technology, how the camera tracking works with the Unreal and the Touch Designer, and then we move inside for the implement. It's really time consuming in the beginning. And as the technology gradually developed, then later on we can make a big setup project like this one. Is work for an online game called Westwood Journey Online, and we have designed the set of our virtual environment, and then incorporate with the Chinese singer inside this green curtain setup. And we rebuilt one of the Chinese city, Xi'an, ancient Chinese city, inside of Unreal Engine, and then using the camera tracking system and the green screen remove system together, using this way to make the singer have the opportunity to sing in the virtual Xi'an, Chang'an city. So it's also a bit interesting to how to combine Chinese historical style with this commercial event. Okay, so for the next of the section, I will introduce more about what we did for the touch designer community in China, especially about some of our workshop, what we try to promote technology and art is this kind of topic. So first of all, it's an introduction about what's the T community. T community stands for the technology, education, and art. Is basically we use the 3 words capital to combine. And because in China, especially in my hometown, we love drink tea. So I think it's a good combination with the tea and the technology, education, and art. So because of in the previous projects, you see is mostly we invest time to dive into the technology. So we think, okay, we can make those experience more into the education side. So during the education side, we can bring our experience to share with all the audience and students, and then they learn technology. Then we can have a big community, and we can have more projects. We can have a better atmosphere, like Berlin here. So that's the reason we set up the T community, and we also happy to work with the derivative together to, especially in East Asia, China, we can have this kind of official cooperation with derivative to host our T community. So this is basically an introduction video about what T community works. And sorry for the text is still Mandarin, but I can introduce a bit. So we have a touch design Chinese website, and here in the website we have many free tutorials, free learning resource. So for the Chinese people who understand Mandarin, they can go through it, and they can also join our WeChat group, and also the Bilibili, RedNote, like a Chinese version of YouTube and Instagram. They can learn something from our resource. And then we also host like an event, like meetup event, our festival event, and we also have a version of the touch designer Chinese book. It also have some related knowledge of the how to using hardware, how to using audio visual and different kind of the metaphor to create something in this book. And for our 1 week's workshop and the class, student and participate can take part in, and they can learn something from the hardware, from Arduino to industrial level hardware Hikrio sensor, etc. And they can learn, and they can visit different studio, different industrial event, and build up their own connection during this kind of occasion. And we also set up some online classes with university in China, so they can, for more students in China, they can watch tutorial and learn, and then begin to create for what they want to create. And besides that, we also set up a multiple connection with university, and try to make the kind of cooperation with university to have more sponsorship for event with technology and art, this kind of culture. And some visit with the office and the touch designer summit 2019, which I met Marcus and Stefan there. And yeah, that's some of what we did for the T community. Yeah. And so this is a basic introduction of the key community, and there's a couple sections I can spend more time to just share. And the one is we have touch design Chinese book is also have a certificate from a derivative to support our a touch designer book. And we have a third version already. So for this version, we also integrate more the upcoming technology and the modification of the software. Although the POP is released this year, we haven't really have time, but I wish next version we can add POP operator into our book. And then the introduction of our 2 different workshops. One workshop is called All-in-One Interactive Practice Workshop, and this is an offline workshop. It takes 6 days and 50 hours program to dive into different section. For example, we have module 1 is visual program logic. It's basically introduced what touch designer it is and what's the basic UI and function of touch designer. And the module 2 is more about the audiovisual section, so participants can create something with the the native touch designer operators. And then in module 3, we can go in more about hardware side, can integrate Arduino and lighting, etc. And then we can use the touch OC to do some interaction. and the projection mapping with the ComfyUI. And then in the last 1 days, we will bring the participants to the different location in Shanghai to visit like more to the digital media the exhibition with the kind of interactive show, and also experience with the what industry levels project look like. So here is a short clip of what's this 6-day workshop look like. So you can see we have a module like a stage, moving headlight, we have the lighting stripe, we have a projection, and we do like cubic projection mapping, and then we bring the student to the Lumina Park in Shanghai to experience, okay, what they learn from lighting, what they learn from projection. Eventually, they can make some project look like what Mount Factory did. So they give more promising to the participants to see what they learn type designer and then eventually what they can create. And we work with many like hardware supplier to sponsorship for our like hardware, and they can like for students can try as many as possible during this 6 days, and after they can have a more idea what they're gonna create. So the other workshop is touch designer and the ComfyUI workshop. In this workshop, all the students and participants can learn how combine touch designer and the ComfyUI to create some project. Exactly like the Volkswagen's the photo booth and the drawing car, like this kind of experience. But we back to very ground level, like we have an online course first, so the participant can learn how basic level of the touch designer during the online course, and as well as the AIGC, which AI generative content by the ComfyUI. They can combine those two together, and then they go out on-site of our classroom. They have 3 days just for integrating the hardware to create touch designer and AI interaction. As well as they can go through the AI interactive topics like portrait photography and real-time painting back from our real project of the Volkswagen one. And then the last day, they can create their own art pieces, so from the previous study. So here is a video that we try to integrate the AI 3D naked eye projection with our class. So in this class, you can see the student built their own setup in the touch designer for the AI projection and also for the drawing experience using the media pipe. And later on, they use the ComfyUI to generate some contents and then putting back to the touch designer to create some artist piece. And this is our studio. So in the last day, student will join our studio to see how a commercial project look like this way. So besides the book, the community event, and as well as our workshop, offline workshop, we also host the Flare International New Media Art Festival. It begins in 2018, actually. It's like the touch designer Asian Forum in Shanghai, this one, back 2019. And after 2018, and after 2018, we gradually to make it look like a festival, and it contains more sections like a forum, like the workshop, and as well as the exhibition and the audiovisual performance, like this kind of setup. So this is 2020, and because in the 19 actually it's easier for host the more international event. But back to 20, the COVID happened, so many things have been moved to online event, but still we try to invest more time to the physical world. So back to 2022, we have worked with the big semi-sphere LD screen in the Shanghai called Metro City, and then we create this festival using the semi-sphere screen, and also contact with many international artists to join with our Flare Festival in 2022. So we have two different version of the exhibition. One version is all online, so you can see right now it's online exhibition. You can use the last time the metaverse is very popular, so we call it metaverse exhibition to visit like this Medusa's neuron, and can see many artists' artwork. So you can see like some of like from China and some of the like international. So we happy also invite Stefan and Marcus and Patrick DeFasten and Chuchu, like local Berlin artists showing their art pieces into our this semi-sphere, as well as our online exhibition. So this is what we try to make something different. I mean, those time is very difficult for us because in Shanghai it's kind of closed and we couldn't travel outside of the China, but we still try to using this way, like online section and offline like big LD semi-sphere screen, try to bring us connect with the rest of the world. So this is something we are always try to do, not just for commercial earning money, but we also want to invest money into more community-based, more like international approach event like Flare Festival. So here is another online exhibition. It's different exhibition hall, but they can you can see all the art pieces can be showing in the Shanghai, the Metro City facade building. In 2022 is among 20 to 30 artists to join our exhibition section. And as well as last year, we work with the Mount Factory for the Lumina. So we have a chance to have an online talk for our foreign section with them remotely. So I was in Shanghai and they are in Montreal. So I host the foreign with them through the Zoom. But I also many Chinese audience can ask the question at the same time. So I can translate and Mount Factory they can respond at the same time. For the workshop, we host with the Epson China, so they provide an immersive room, and we have a rangefinder sensor coupled with the projection together. So we teach the this kind of workshop in Epson, the immersive room. So this is the 2022 version. In the 2023, we back to physical world. So as a video we show in the previous, we are in the Shanghai cinema. So we use a big naked eye 3D screen to show some of the artist pieces. And as well as we also host the immersive audio-visual performance. And I was one of the performer and for the visual side and the interactive side. And work with some artists to correspond with the telemon instrument, and we try as much as possible to extend the boundary of the performance. And for the workshop is part of our 6 days workshop. It goes through many hardware, and we use the screen of the cinema to show some artists, some of local artists and also international artists as well. And for the Media Lab is the section we work with university to provide a educational based installation. And we have a set of the sound healing experience exterior of the cinema. And we also curate many naked eye 3D content for different cities. Yeah, this is the 2023 version, and we have 7 different sections for our festival.
Over the past 3 years,
And then this year is very special because we will also host the Flare Festival in next month. This year we will move to Chongqing. It's another city in China, and we will invite the Team Lab and Mount Factory and Nanyang Technology University, the representative to Chongqing to join with our this year's Flare. And what special thing is we work with university this year. So we work with like Sichuan Fang University to host the entire like lighting festival, as well as the forum and the workshop, exhibition, etc. So it's getting a bit different from our previous experience because we work with university, and then we take a more step and getting more like a sponsorship from academy. So it's definitely a new step for us, and see how it goes. And if everything works well, and I definitely want to invite more Berlin, Germany artists can join our festival in next year, as like Stefan, Marcus, Patrick DeFasten, and Chuchu, and BM, like etc. It's definitely a great way to connect with world. And last is just a little bit promote by ourselves. It's Digital Fund's Instagram and TA Community's Instagram. And I also bring some small gift for our friends, and some of them is like a touch designer, like a magnet made with the different operator. And I add the pop operator here. So this is a magnet, and some are stickers. Stickers with the touch designer logo and the T logo, and as well as our operator's logo. So I will leave on a souvenir on the entrance area, and feel free to take. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jimmz. I'm not going to let you go away just yet.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Harshini. I'm your host for the tail end of these conversations today. Firstly, I am so glad we have this gorgeous LED screen, because the colors, the vibrancy, and the detail of your work, being able to actually see it is just astounding. I think many of us were like, jaw-dropped, eyes ogling over your work. It's just what you and your community has done is absolutely incredible. We're going to open it up for a couple of questions. There is a rolling mic in the audience. But I wanted to ask Jimmz first, could you tell us a little bit about you and your journey, and how did you start in this world of creative tech?
Oh, okay. It's a great question. Actually, my background is not direct from the digital media. So I studied like environmental art design in Tongji University. So it was beginning from 2009 in Shanghai. And in my third year of study, I gradually to switch my interest because I feel making like architecture is a bit boring for me. I mean, I don't want to offend who study architecture, but just for me a bit boring. And at that time in my university, somehow another program, the digital media program, they invite Christopher from Vivoy and Marcus Heckman to our university to host the touch design workshop in 2012. So I was there. I didn't join the entire workshop. I come to the workshop occasionally, and I found it really interesting. Then I began gradually to switch my skill sets to more to the digital media side, and as well as I began go to some club for the VJ thing and doing some installation. And after 2016, I went to Canada for my master study for digital media, and I took the touch design workshop there. And I have an honor to connect with the directive during the same time. So then I began like fully into this industry. And my business partner, Toddy, he also studied the computer science before in Tongji University, and then he went to US to begin his master study for the art, and he had the chance to work with the Leviathan studio in Chicago. So after that, he went back to China to set up Chinese touch designer community. And I was doing some research there, and I find some people also, like Toddy, he's like hosting the community there. So I think maybe it's a good time for me to join with him. Then I began with the Digital One Studio back to 2018. And then I came back from Canada to China in 2019, right before the COVID happened. So we have some projects there, and gradually began more like hosting the touch design community together there. This is like a journey. Yeah.
That's incredible, and I think we have many people in the room who studied architecture and then found their way towards touch designer and new media. Do we have any questions in the audience, actually? And if not, then I would just ask one last question, which is, so much of your work is so collaborative, and also with the tea community, there's so many people involved, and you're passing on that information and that knowledge to the next generation. What is then the future of education, and how important is it for us to create physical, in real life experiences together with digital technologies?
Yeah, I think for question is about future of the education. So there's something we find like definitely they have a different part. One part is like will no institute create like a creative technology society, like community based. So it's meaning like artists and also technologists like who interested in this field can join. And we also think about this is very important. And the other part is like from university. So the way we work with university, because we thought if many like young students can use touch design or this kind of technology and art software, the more project will come in. And after they graduate, they definitely will looking for some kind of job, some kind of project. And the client also will highlight, okay, so many people studying this field, and the results, like the show, like the performance or like exhibition, they require this kind of skill set. So they will also invest more like budget on this part. So I feel like we try to balance like community-based and the university-based. I think for me, these two is totally different, because community is more somehow friendly and people easily get away. And for university to like have a deal with like the leadership of the university, especially in China. So have to deal with many things, but students still love to use software eventually. So we can combine these two. I think it's my personal view for the future is like balance like a community and the university, like two, yeah.
Beautiful. I think that's a beautiful message of collaboration. Stefan, do you have a question?
We have one question from the audience for me. I'm wondering how big would you say is the tea community? So how many people are involved? Involved, yeah.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. So I wish next time if you can visit our Shanghai studio. So we have like 12 to 13 people, but it's hard to say who is belong to tea community and who is belong to digital fund. So if we have a commercial project, like many of people participate. If the commercial project is like finished, then we have like a short of like people will become tea community member. Like they will produce like workshop, produce like event. So it's like a kind of switch different role in different time period. And we do have some like 2 or 3 people just for like promotion and just for, especially in China, like meaning like online social media platform, like 2 or 3 people is like only for promotion. But rest of like 9 or 8 to 9 people, they will switch different role in different time period for commercial project or like a community-based event like this.
And in terms of your audience of people that are part of the community, how big is it?
Oh, you mean the audience? Yeah. Audience is kind of like, if we host like an online thing, it's like thousand to 10,000 around this ish.
Just between 1,000 to 10,000.
Yeah. Depends on like level of the event, but offline event, you can see in 2021 the performance for our Flare Festival is like 1,000 people, like become the audience, like a physical audience to the show. And in 2023, in the cinema, because the seat was limited, so it's around 300 people in the show. So it depends on different years plan.
So this is a very intimate room for you.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's more comfortable. I'm more a bit introverted, so too many people, I'm probably not that good. But here is more comfortable for me. Yeah.
Well, welcome to our home in Berlin. We're so happy to have you here, and I know you'll be performing later.
Right.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your collaborator and what to expect?
Right. So our performance is called Infinite Visage. It means like there's infinite possibility of the light, sound, and the entire like story. So we're gonna see is we will operate two laser and the lighting interact with our installation piece. The installation piece will have like a reflection panel as well as like a diffuse panel with like a color-ish, like a mirror-ish paper. So we will use the sound to trigger our light and the laser at the same time. So I use the Ableton Live and the Touch Designer component together, and with the laser, using laser, I use the pangolin like to operate the laser at the same time to make this kind of technology based, but it's also art driven, this kind of performance.
Beautiful. We love lasers. So that's a performance that's going to happen at the very end of our note session. Thank you, Jimmz, so much. Can we give him a round of applause, please?
Thank you.
And I'm going to say we have time for a quick break to grab something at the bar and then to come back for our second session. During our second session, we will have time to actually explore and see some of the artworks. So that's something to look forward to when you come back. Stefan, did you have one more thing to add?
You can use also this break now to explore the various laser artworks. I will put the map back on the screen if you got lost. And then you might know what the artists are talking about in the next bit.
See you soon.
Do you also find yourself watching your visuals stutter while your laptop begs for mercy? No worries, we've got you covered with high-performance media servers featuring Threadripper Pro CPUs and NVIDIA Quadro graphics for smooth output every time.
Okay, welcome back for part 2 of Node Session 3. Thank you all so much. This second half is very special because to my right, I have some incredible artists who are actually showcasing works today in various rooms of Monopol. And I would like to introduce you to them, actually. Do you want to come closer to me and not be so shy? Great. I'm just going to pass the mic and ask you for like a quick little introduction about who you are and what do you do. I'm a little personally biased because this is Ephemeral Tomorrow right next to me and I love their work. But I'm going to let you explain who you are and what you do.
Hi. Thanks, Harshini, for this nice intro. So yeah, we're Ephemeral Tomorrow. We're doing audiovisual, data-driven installations. And I'm Maxime, more on the visual side with...
I'm Ricardo. Hi. Thanks for inviting or improvising this. But yeah, so we work together since around 10 years. Yeah, each one of us has a different background. Come from architecture, as some of the previous ones. But yeah, then I went more into visuals, live programming, and touch designer. And yeah, also since some years, I'm more focusing on that.
Hi, I'm Asako. I'm doing the sound for Ephemeral Tomorrow since the beginning, together with them. And I don't really use touch designer, but I always work with them since I work with them. And so I'm familiar with 3D Ableton and so on. And yeah, I'm happy to be invited for this event for the exhibition and everything.
Hi, I'm David from Studio 512. I'm light designer, stage designer. I do different stuff, all based on lights, video design. I did one installation over there with lasers. I work with lasers for a while now. So if you haven't seen, to come afterwards. Otherwise, I'm super happy to be here. And little shout out to Michael, which made everything possible. But I guess we will talk about this a bit later.
Hi, I'm Fubi. I have a company here called House of North in Berlin. Do arts and technology production, a lot of lights, but also complex installation, kind of consultancy work for contemporary artists, helping them develop their pieces. And I use lasers as much as I can. And Michael called and said, like, hey, come do something, and gave me this room with the structure in it. So I did a piece kind of in situ, impromptu in there, where I started out just using the internal functions of the laser. And before I even connected Touch Designer to it, I felt like I was already onto something and already done. So the whole piece is basically just running with like OSC commands, telling this thing to switch between DGC, digital geometrical correction presets, and it's just a little bit of like random and OSC flowing in there, and it's just a laser. There's no content. Somebody was up there asking me, it's like, is it touch? No. Is it Ethernet? No. Is it ILDA? No. It's like, no, there's nothing. It's just old school. It's just presets and using the geometry of the room. So if you haven't seen it, it's on the 3rd floor over there. Thank you.
Great. This past weekend, Monopol and also folks from all around the world, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of LaserAnimation Sollinger. Michael Sollinger was supposed to be with us today, but is unfortunately feeling under the weather. But he's sent his love and provided our support for us to be able to continue and also see incredible works today. Fubi and David, this is your first Node Institute speaking on the stage with us event today. But Ephemeral Tomorrow, you've actually spoken at a roundtable with us before. And I know that your work is usually data-driven, also Ricardo, as you said. And so I'm wondering if you could give us a little bit of a taste of what your installation is about that we're going to witness in a moment.
Okay, so first of all, this work is an iteration of previous work we presented also at the Node event some 2 years ago. The first one was presented in Carrara in a festival in Tuscany and was screened on a Marble Quarry. This one is actually a second iteration called Colliders. It's a work that essentially the whole idea is to play with the architecture that we used for mapping. So each time we do it, it has basically a different connotation based on the architecture that is mapped. And in this case, we are using also the real-time solar wind to drive the simulation of the particles, essentially. So since 2016, there's satellites orbiting around the sun that is providing also real-time data about solar wind and a lot of other stuff. And yeah, we used it for a few projects, and the whole idea is to basically came from this idea of lighting up the architecture while considering the physicality of the architecture. So each particle of light contributes to light up the dark room. And it also plays with the surface where it's mapped to. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Also to visualize forces that are not visible like the solar wind, for example. Maybe you want to add something, Max?
Yeah, I guess for us, like we're not used to really like work on, let's say, projection mapping, so to speak, you know. So here, like as Fubi mentioned before, like it's Michael called us like, oh, I'm throwing a big party for my birthday. Do you want to do something? And we say, of course, we're going to do something before even knowing what we're going to do. So after it was a bit of improvisation in the room. What can we use that we did before? Because it was too much work for us to do something from scratch. But after we tried to combine different works to see how we can adapt our vision of like real-time data-driven works into this context and to combine a bit different views. I don't know, Asako, if you want to add something on a sound composition.
Yes, so this work was an adaptation from the previous work. It was mapped on nature or more like a quarry, so it's kind of construction site. And I didn't know if that would match in this situation, but then in the end, it's kind of similar materials like bricks and rocks, and then I found it with new data. How it sounded was somehow making sense, and it's a little bit more, not direct and more dreamy sense, but this is how we did it.
Great, so we have very conceptual, data-driven work, and I know both of you have a completely different process in your own work. So I'm wondering, David, what's usually your process like? And I know you are collaborated with Bernard, an incredible sound designer as well for this piece.
Yeah, so I come more for the technical side, I think. So this work was in my mind for a while, and it's more like, what do I have to make something nice? I was resident at Monopol for a while, so this room is always in my mind when I try to design something. And I had these LED panels. I know with Michael that I can kind of get lasers, so I try to imagine structures and how more like build architectures and how we can fill a room with lights. And then I built up this piece. I wanted to kind of have lasers who activate LED panels, have feedbacking on LED panels. And we had 2 nights with my sound designer Bernard. We just tried to use the whole structure like an instrument. So I pre-built some effects which kind of interact between the lasers and the LED panels. And then we just tried which sounds are kind of working and how they can interact with the piece. Then he made a song out of it, and we kind of put everything in the animation and just try to make everything nice. And I hope it worked.
It's a really beautiful piece, and I'm really excited for everyone to get to see it. I'm going to stand here because of the feedback. And Fubi, could you tell us a bit more about your artistic practice? I get the sense that playfulness and the audience being in it is very much a part of your work.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of my work is situation-based. It's a lot of like acting on your feet. You know, I've been working with David also on technical things, stages, tours. I've done a lot of that kind of stuff, and often it's about taking what you have and creating something with it. You know, you walk into a space or a room, and you have to act. It's like, what do you have? What do you have? Oh, we have some lasers. Great. Let's develop. Let's work. And you have to kind of pull it out of the situation a lot. And I feel like I thrive in that because I feel free. And with this room, it was very little time, and Michael just like threw me in there with a couple of lasers, and I sat there for a few nights on my own and tried to find out what can be done in there, or what would the experience be, and how can I use the structure, how can I use these lasers, how can I hide everything, so how can I create beauty or some kind of meditative state that I felt up there. And then the few evenings I had was up, and there it is, running forever, random, just, you know, I only have to turn the hazer on and off now, so it's done.
Brilliant. And tell us the directions of where can we find your piece?
Okay, so if you walk all the way down to the big building, and then take a right and then a left, and you will see these stairs where you can see the piece from Moritz and Michael. And right there's a door to the left, and there's a robot Roomba laser installation on the floor. And if you go up the dark stairs to the 3rd floor, just follow the sound. It's up there.
Great. We also have some signage, and there's going to be time now to run amok and explore. But before I let us all go off and explore, I want to say, like, each of you mentioned something very important, which is that you said Michael kind of gave us a space, gave us a laser, and said, like, here you go. And it's not only for this weekend, but really also throughout many moments in your own career. So I just want to, maybe we can do like a short applause for Michael Sollinger for the 40th anniversary. Because that's really special, that relationship with the arts. And so I invite you all now to explore the first 2 pieces by Ephemeral Tomorrow and Studio 512. This weekend there was a moment, there was like a huge event, and then at the end of the event there were like these ladies with like red wigs in like flight stewards outfits who would guide you from one room to the other. I do not have a red wig or a flight steward outfit with me, but I can show you where to go. And we're going to see the first works, and then we're going to see Fubi's work. Feel free to explore, and we'll be back in this room at 10:15 for our last talk. And for now, I want to thank all the artists, and I'm so looking forward to sharing your works with everybody.
Heyo. We are Katatumbo Lab. We are a creative makerspace based here in Monopol. I'm going to skip through the next slides a little bit quickly. We are a collection of new media artists, but not only filmmakers, and what do you call the people who make visuals with microscopes?
Microscopists.
Microscopists, that's a new term. This I'm going to skip. Yes, this is us. As you can see in the slides, we're all very serious. The team is made up of Stefano Canavese, who is right here on the camera today. Then there's myself, Dan, and Karim. We're part of Katatumbo Lab, but we're also part of the Real Studio, yet another initiative in the space. And then on the right, on the left for you, the most serious of all is Max and Alex, who are Magnificent Matter, and they are the microscopists.
The reason that we are here today and talking to you briefly is because next week, on Friday, we are having an open studio where we welcome all of you to check our works in progress, talk to us, talk to each other, check out what we're doing, and maybe collaborate in the future. Maybe you know some spaces, maybe you want to work with us, maybe you want to perform something. These are some of our collected works that we have done together, mostly. And also what we want to create here in this space in Katatumbo Lab, which is, as Staff said, part of Monopol. So it's located in the big building in the front. We want to make it into a community space where we can gather and jam around. So that's why we're doing this open studio on the 24th. I will let you watch some of the stuff. We will also explain very shortly a few of these initiatives that you can see here.
Yes. So very quickly, Katatumbo Lab, as I said, is a creative makerspace. The fact that we're based in Monopol enables collaborations between new media art, which is something we're focused on, but also the general Monopol artist community, so glass blowers, marble sculptors, and other crafts. One of the things we did last year was encounters, mainly organized by Magnificent Matter, but supported by the rest of us. That was a 2-day festival in an abandoned DDR hospital in Shanghai. Very quickly, yes, we have to speed run. A few weeks ago, some of us, Magnificent Matter and Stefano, were invited by World Expo 2025. They represented the German pavilion. They were performing live every day with her microscopism and live music. And then all of us, even though Katatumbo Lab as an entity was not directly involved in Berlin New Media Week, together with Harshini from 3AM Energy, everyone from Katatumbo Lab was also participating in multiple capacities in making Berlin New Media Week happen.
And a lot of people also here in this room participated, so yes. Thanks for the helpers and everybody else representing.
Yes. Next slide. A bunch of
Just have the QR code.
Yes, a bunch of stuff. A lot of people are helping us. Yes, so if everyone wants to come see what we're doing, come jam, see our future work, and sometimes there's also open spots in our studio. Not yet, but you never know. If someone's interested, maybe they can reach out. So feel free to register and come in. Ah, yes. Yeah. So this is the open studio in 2 weeks. Is this 2 weeks?
No, it's next Friday. Next Friday. And yeah, you can just register here. Please take a look. Also, you can follow us at Katatumbo Lab on Instagram. We will post some more information there. I will wait for just 1 second for you to take a snapshot. Cool. And also related to this, on the 29th, we will also organize a TD Hangout. So the Open Lab will be more about our works and what we do. And at the TD Hangout, we will let other peoples of the community also play with our toys. Like we have a lot of TVs, we have the microscope, and you can connect with the microscope. We have LED screen, we have a projection. So yeah, we wanna invite you also to this TD Hangout. This is the Discord link for the TD Hangout Discord, and this is normally organized by Linda and Francesco. Big shout out to them for this initiative. And that was us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Katatumbo, and this is my opportunity finally thank Karim, which you've just seen, who's been providing us with music all along through the note sessions and the touch designer roundtables before, and I've each time forgotten to credit him. So now, please, a warm round of applause for Karim for the smooth beats. And music is also the bridge to our next speaker, Katharina Geiger from MiMu Gloves, and she's gonna introduce us to this amazing new tool. And we just have to do a tiny switch over. Yeah.
Das ist aus, aber es macht nichts. Ah, doch. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah. Hi, I'm Kati. I'm from MiMu, and I'm here to talk about the MiMu Gloves. And it's actually funny because, well, thank you, Stefan, for inviting me so spontaneously. Because the first and only time I've ever been to Monopol was a couple of years ago when I produced a photo shoot for a singer called Imogen Heap. And now I'm back and to talk about her invention. She is the founder and brain behind the MiMu Gloves. I don't know, maybe some of you know her, but she's a British singer-songwriter and producer. She plays any instrument that you can imagine and is very, very tech-savvy. And she basically was always running around on stage, playing loads of instruments, using loads of gear. And we are in Berlin. You probably have been to some electronic live set or DJ set, so you know what it looks like. It's usually the artist hunching over a laptop or 2 or 3 and loads of knobs and buttons and gear. And so she kind of struggled a bit with that for her live performances because she just wanted to have a bit more freedom. And she always says, I just wanted to be on stage and close my eyes and move my hands and sing and perform freely. The second aspect why we developed these gloves was that music software is very versatile and has loads of opportunities, but sometimes the gear and the controllers don't really fulfill all of the possibilities that the software actually has to offer. So yeah, that's why Imogen decided to build a team around her and come up with variable gesture controllers. And they started developing the software in 2011. And in 2012, she actually performed for the first time with this. So as you can see, it's still quite chunky with loads of cables and batteries and PCBs all around her body. But it worked. And then they started developing loads of different iterations of the gloves over the years, where you can still see that sometimes the electronics are still exposed on the wrists and the cables are visible, so maybe not the most aesthetic thing to do on live performances. But then 2019, we actually went to market, because after she performed a couple of times with her gloves, there was loads of other artists that were like, wow, I want to have this too. So the demand was there, and we started to produce for the public. And this is what they look like. And then, as we heard in the first presentation, COVID happened and had its effects on us as well, because we were affected by this global chip shortage. So we couldn't produce any more gloves. So we went into another R&D phase that lasted for a couple of years, and then made this glove, which we launched actually this year. And this is the current model. It's much more, it has much more flexibility on the wrist, because the wrist unit is way smaller and lighter, and so, yeah, and compared to the first model that Imogen used, is much better and more aesthetic. This was the first iteration of the music software. I don't know how many people here use music software, but yeah, there's a lot to see here. Oops, sorry. And this is what it looks now. So way easier to use for people, and yeah, I'll explain this a bit in a bit. How do they work? So the gloves have flex sensors in the fingers, one in the pinky, one in the thumb, and two in the longer fingers to measure the bend of the fingers. They have an IMU that sits on the wrist unit to measure the orientation. So you basically, when you start using the gloves, you tell them where forwards is, and then the gloves can measure left and right, up and down, and the roll of the wrist as well. They communicate over Wi-Fi, because as you can imagine, if you perform in a huge venue with loads of people and loads of phones, Bluetooth might distort the signals. So they have their own Wi-Fi, which ensures that the MIDI signals get transferred correctly. Then they have a button on each index finger with an LED light, which can be used for non-gestural controls. So if they perform on stage, they can, for example, press the button to start recording their voice, and then usually the button shows red, and then once they stop recording, the LED shows a different color, for example, so the artist knows what's going on and which scene they are. They have breathable design, because you never know how long someone performs on stage, maybe several hours. We also have loads of dancers who use the gloves, so they're not sweating too much with the gloves. And they are fingerless, because a lot of people also use them to expand their instruments, and so you can play your instruments freely, and you can also use any touch pads or screens. And lastly, there's a vibration motor on the back of the hand for haptic feedback. So, for example, this is obviously not for the audience, but for the performer themselves. And we did one thing with Imogen during a live stream where we set up a landing page, and the landing page had a button on the page, and so the fans could go to this page during a live stream and click on the button, and she would get a vibration on her glove, which was kind of a cute interaction with the fans. So the gloves, as I've mentioned, are used in so many different ways, and it's quite nice to create kind of like a toy and give it to creative people, because then they just come up with loads of different things and things that you would never think of when you make these. And obviously, in this context, they are also able to control visuals and control lighting in a venue. So I've just put together a few clips of artists and how they use them, so you can see it. Ariana Grande used them on her tour as well once. So I'm just going to show you quickly how it looks and how it works. So this is the software called Glover. And I've connected my gloves over Wi-Fi, as you can see here. And then in this bottom bit here, you can see the sensors in each finger. So when I bend my fingers, you can see them reacting to it. And then next to it is this orientation panel that I talked about before. So if I put them forward, usually you just set forward here. And then you see it's like left, right, up, down, which we call pitch, and this we call yaw, and then the roll of the wrists. Here are the drum hits. And then you can train any posture that you like. We usually just tell artists to just train any postures that come very intuitive to them, because obviously it's a performance and it needs to feel natural. So I've just trained fists, open hand, and one finger point here just for this demo, but you can choose and name any posture that you like if someone wants to do this posture, whatever. So yeah, and then you connect this to any music software that you use, so Ableton or Logic or whichever, and for visuals you can connect it to Touch Designer, V4, whatever you want to use, because the gloves also send OSC, not just MIDI. So yeah, one example. Here you can see there's this chords that I can play, and here you see the input. It's the right glove. If you make a fist and go up and down and to the sides. So, ooh, obviously that had to happen. Oh yeah, I need to connect this, no? No. What's with the sound? One? Ah, here. No, it's the USB, right? Okay. Ah, there we go. So yeah, if I make a fist and go to the side, it plays all the chords that I programmed it to play, basically. And then here you can see with my left hand, there's roll, which adds a filter. And then there's also this. Maybe another example. Obviously, I'm not a singer, so I'm not going to sing, but if you were to sing, you can sing, and then you can control your vocals. So here again, if I make a fist with my left hand, that you see in the top, I can add harmonies. If I roll my left hand, it adds a delay. If I go up, so pitches up and down with my left hand, I can add a reverb, so. And then combine everything. So yeah. I brought loads of other examples, so if you want to come and try them yourself, then I'm going to be over there, and you can try them yourself. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Katharina. I think it's incredible that in a time where I think our bodies and minds can feel so constrained sometimes by technology, to actually witness a technology that actually is about freedom and that empowers you is really incredible. So I know we're all excited to play, but before I let people play, I just had a couple of questions, which is like, I'm curious if you've actually ever collaborated with any artists from Asia or in South Asia, especially where movement can have such a strong focus on gestures and mudras, especially in South Asian culture.
Not a lot, actually. We have loads of requests now from Japan. So we have now, from this launch that we had this year, so we have one artist from Japan now that is going to receive the gloves. So we're really excited what they're going to do. We have one artist from Indonesia who used them, but I haven't heard from them in a long time, so I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a bit problematic because with these electronics, it's really hard to go to market because you have so many regulations and certifications that you have to go through, because obviously they sit on the hand, so they have to go through a lot of safety testing because there's a battery in there and radio modules, the Wi-Fi. So we basically focused on a lot of markets that are our biggest markets, which is UK, EU, US, Canada. But we're hoping that we're going to launch soon in more Asian countries as well.
Great. I know there's like a couple of competitors, or at least they try, but really I think what makes MiMu stand out is that flexibility and the precision as well. And so I know that people can play with the gloves, or
Sure.
What can people expect when we go off to the back?
So I prepared a few sets, demo sets, that they can try out. I wanted to bring some visual demos as well, but I wasn't able to, so I'm really sorry about that. But the gloves are initially designed to be audio controllers, but they work with visuals, and if you've seen it in the video, Chagall uses them to control the lighting and LEDs around her. So it's definitely possible, and maybe also like a call to more visual artists to try them and play around with them, because obviously we love artists to create with the gloves.
Oh, for sure. I can already feel like the energy in the artists in the room from the V4 and touch designer folks here, that I know they're already dreaming of visuals. And yeah, the gorgeous video from Imogen Heap and Chagilala. Chagilala actually also did a course with the Node Institute that specifically focused on how to work with the MiMu gloves, so that's something you can check out in our course directory. So yeah, without further ado, thank you so much, Katharina. If we can have a round of applause.
Thank you.
And let's go play. So there's a station right at the back in this room. You're invited to play, and also, of course, continue exploring all the incredible artworks that are in Monopol today. Stefan, did I miss anything?
No? Well, maybe. So, of course, there's a demo possibility with Katharina. We will be back 11:20 with the performance of Jimmz and O right here. So we have to do a little changeover, and in the meantime, you could explore the installations or join the demo. And yeah, see you 20 past. Thank you. I'm very happy to present to you the performance Infinite Visage by Jimmz and O. And without further ado, I would say, let the games begin. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a ride. It's time to thank all of you for supporting us by buying a ticket. Thanks to you guys for this amazing show. Thanks to Jose and Monopol for having us and supporting us. Thanks for Derivative for continuous support. Thanks to PlusPlusOne, Thomas and Wieland for the media tech and recording. Thanks to Izzy for the photos. Thanks to Stefano for the videography. Thanks to Harshini for conducting the interview and asking the right questions. Did I forget anyone? Yeah, of course, Michael Sollinger and LaserAnimation Sollinger and all the artists who left their beautiful installations here so we can enjoy them this evening. And last reminder, next course with us is going to be with Moritz Hilscher from LaserAnimation Sollinger, how to do lasers with Touch Designer. So if you liked it, that's your entry. With this, thank you very much. We can hang around a bit more. Katharina will be ready for some more demos of the gloves. And there's going to be a few fresh drinks at the bar. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Wow.